Today, I'm gonna be teaching my friend Will how to trade in the stock market. How much are the contracts? $460.
Here we go. Swipe up to submit.
Send it through, send it through.
All right,
All right, you're filled. Stay tuned until the end of this video to see whether Will ends up losing his entire $500 or not.
For those fans of the channel, does anyone recognize my voice right now? This is my first time on camera without blurring myself out. This is awesome. I've edited so much of Mark's content, actually basically all of it from the very beginning. I've never even used Thinkorswim. I've always just seen it. So this is gonna be a really fun day. We're gonna put on a trade. I'm gonna try my best to follow your strategies from what I know, but of course he's here to kind of help me out, bring me through it, and hopefully have a successful trade.
I'm glad to actually have you on camera for once. We said we were gonna reveal what you looked like at 100K. We hit 100K, and so
We forgot.
But now we're doing it. And so you do have some knowledge as far as trading because you've edited all this content.
Yep.
You'll take what you've learned essentially from the free content we put out there for you guys, look at these charts behind us, put on a trade. And so if you stay tuned until the end, we're gonna hop back on and we're gonna see if you make or lose money. Let's jump inside my computer and let's see if we can find a trade to put on.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So I think definitely I probably know more about trading than 90% of the US population, but that's okay. So what we want you guys to do, if you're looking for more of that beginner video, maybe you don't know about options trading, go back and watch the first two parts and then come back to this one because we're really gonna get into charting and really get into, again, utilizing your setups and placing a trade. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, you stole my job. We've made 2 other parts on teaching my friend how to trade where we went through the very basics and the beginner charting, technical analysis. What Will's gonna do is he's gonna look through a series of charts and try to identify one of the setups that I teach over inside my mentorship group. And then he's gonna go about setting his stop loss, his take profit.
I have to do all that?
Yeah, and essentially creating this trade plan and then putting on the trade. But most of the work we're gonna do right now is gonna be going through, let's say, the NASDAQ 100 and looking through several hundred, potentially, charts to identify the trend, the patterns within the trend. Hang on, stop around. Just Jesus, wait a second. We're just gonna hop right on inside my computer. Will's gonna look through a couple hundred charts, try to identify one of these setups which I teach inside my mentorship group, and then go about creating his trade plan and putting on that trade. So what you're gonna do is start looking through all of these charts. Again, I do all my work on the 4-hour time frame with the intention of swinging a position over 2, 3, 4, even 5 days.
Yep.
So all you have to do is click this arrow and you can start going through. What setup are you going to be looking to identify and then potentially trade?
So I'm totally not reading the Discord right here. One of your setups is the overbought, overextended.
Yeah.
You have an 8% win rate with that.
Yeah.
This is good to know because I do not have any trade data to base my decisions off on with things like that.
True.
So I think we should aim to find an overextended overbought.
All you have to do is hit the down arrow.
Yep.
Look for a chart that recently formed an all-time high. We're looking for like within the last day, like literally a day or 2.
Oh, okay, so that's pretty tough. What about this one?
No, it's already come off the high, see? Like you have to look at where we're trading at in perspective to that all-time high.
Is this your setup in a sense here or no?
No, this would be something totally different.
Okay, I know, I'm like stopping everyone. I'm like, is this one good? Is this one good?
Just go.
All right, okay. Is this anything here? This is today.
So the cleaner and the clearer the chart is gonna be.
Right.
Well, I always say look for cleaner and clearer charts.
This is pretty choppy.
Pretty choppy, and that high was just formed today. And so the more tests of all-time high or all-time low, or just support or resistance in general, where you've seen that test, another test, and then following, you know, a rejection, that is just going to give you more confirmation that if we do go short, we set our stop at the all-time high, and then knowing that it's been tested multiple times, that gives us just more confirmation that we're not going to get stopped out.
Right. Ooh, that one's really choppy. Just
like a lot of these charts are just awful looking.
Yeah. This one's kind of interesting. I mean, it's like still kind of choppy, but less choppy than some of the other ones. And then here is like, there's clearly, like, I want to see how far, how do you see the percentage? So like the guys on TikTok, they all like click like this with like all these lines everywhere. They're like, oh, look, it's going to go up like this. And then this is up like that. And then this is up like that. That's what they do.
With their trend lines.
Oh, beautiful.
The next day.
All right, so we are back. We ended up not putting on a trade yesterday because we just couldn't find anything. All right,
Yes.
let's look at the market. Okay, so right now SPY's up 0.89%.
Hang on, you missed something.
That's pretty green.
This is the overall market. Now, why
Yes.
is the overall market important for the beginners? out
Oh,
there?
okay.
Yeah.
It's always important to be aware of where we're sitting, across the board. SPY, QQQ, IWM are the typical ETFs that I will look at. That just gives me an overall bigger picture or an idea of where the market is. So SPY, you can see, is up 0.90% right there, which is a good amount, okay? QQQ is up 0.89 and IWM is up 1.45%. So that's actually like a pretty, what I consider, green day across the board. So when we're going to look at these charts, we're gonna notice that most of them are going to be in the green, as most stocks do follow trend or direction of the overall market, although there are tickers that will not follow the overall market. But in general, when we start to go through and try to identify a setup to actually trade today, you'll probably notice that most of the stocks are gonna be up. So yesterday we tried to identify both a low bounce and an overbought, overextended setup. I have other setups that I do trade, I do teach. We just kind of ran out of time to look for any more. But today we have enough time to go through and I think find a really solid setup, run through, that trade plan, set up our stop loss, take profit, get our risk to reward, and put on that trade and see what happens tomorrow.
Every step. I want to follow every step of what you teach.
I would say there's like an expedited version of every step.
Yeah,
we want to make this like this would be like a 2-hour video if this was like really.
True.
This would have to be like a 5-part series. But we'll try to cover everything like kind of from a 30,000 foot view. Okay.
I like that.
All right, well, there's maybe something here. I mean, we have the 180-day up here that is respected, or like, is this the market finding balance here? Is this balance when they like kind of intersect like that?
No, nothing to do with balance or imbalance.
Well, never mind.
That's funny. So let's see, the 180-day is respected, right? Once we
Yeah.
broke below back in, looks like.
Wait, it's respected even though this is down below it?
Yeah, so the moving averages, remember, are either acting as a support or resistance based off of where candlesticks are trading. So it's respected when you can see that. You can see we formed the high at 284.34, ended up breaking below the 180 days, started trading below. We did slightly break above, all right, the market probed this level, broke above, and then ended up pulling back, retracing. Tested it again with a hard rejection, and you can see we've been making lower lows, and we haven't been able to break back above it. Okay, that would mean that the 180-day is being respected.
Okay.
Because 180-day is the average price movement over the last 180 days, right? It's a moving average. So if we look at the 50-day, that's going to be the last 50 days. So we just want to see that the 50-day is respected generally in the last 50 days.
Right.
If it's not respected, it doesn't mean you can't put on the trade. It's just going to give us extra like confirmational bias when we go to set up our stop loss and take profit based off of that moving average, which is either going to act as a support or resistance.
I see the trade. Can I let me talk? Okay, so there's a low here, 147.18. I'm just thinking, like, as a beginner, if I was to trade this, sort of knowing your strategy is not quite making it through the masterclass yet, I would probably buy calls here just due to the potential to go back up to the 180 SMA. And I would actually be curious to see like more volume.
Oh, so you're looking for like a break above that 165 and then back up to the 180. Okay, cool.
But I don't, yeah, because I think if we were to buy calls here, I would set my stop loss at 147.
And then where would your take profit be?
Is that like,
Probably at the 180.
you don't think that's too aggressive?
Like how far is that sitting above percentage
Well,
wise?
let's find out with this.
That's like 9%.
Yeah.
That's a good amount.
Okay, what about to this high? Because if we broke
okay.
that
That
would
makes
be a
sense.
break of pattern, a break of a previous high. But if we just play a move up to that area,
That makes sense.
it's more, you have to really try to set realistic targets when it comes to like your take profit. So,
Right, okay.
okay, what's that line at 154.51?
That's just where we're at right now. Oh.
Oh, you don't need to mark where we're at right now, but you can mark your take profit and your stop loss.
Fine.
Is this the low bounce setup by any chance?
If I don't know.
Seems like it is.
I would need it pulled up. Like honestly, like instead of the Discord here, if I was a beginner too, I would have all the chart setups pulled up. If I was to like reference each one, I would draw them out in a notebook. Like every one of the people who we had do testimonials for us, they all took notes in the testimonials that I edited.
True.
In order for this, like I can't just remember all of them unless I'm like 6 months in, a year in with practice. So I think if we were to trade back up to this level, which actually it kind of was like a little bit, there's some they're really close. I don't know how to say this. They're really close together here.
That would be like a resistance.
A resistance level.
So you see
I'm so bad at figuring out the difference between support and resistance. I feel like it's kind of the same thing to me, but one is up and one is down. Right?
So support is below. Like support is
Okay.
what is holding anything up. So
I've messed
just
this
think
up
about it.
before.
If you're trading like above an area and then there's a level below, that's support.
Okay.
And then if you're going up and there's a level above, that's a resistance. Like resistance, you have to break
Okay.
through. Support, you have to bounce off of.
Okay.
I think we should try to trade up to this level
Okay.
as the low bounds. I mean, is 7%, is that like a lot?
The easiest thing to do without getting into too much detail is just pay attention to like the daily range a stock is covered. So,
Oh, okay.
you know, if you see this thing, you can chart out like each day, low to the high. If you see this thing's only moving on average like 0.5% a day, and you're expecting a 7 to 8% move, and say your average hold period or swing period is 3 to 5 days, which means you're holding a position no more than 5 days.
Yeah.
Well, that stock, when you look at the chart, hasn't moved 8% in 3 months. So,
Yeah,
you know, why would you
yeah.
expect it to move that in a week, a trading week?
That's a really
So,
good point. I mean, it
you're
did-
on the day now, though.
Yeah, yeah.
When I say daily range, that doesn't mean the daily time frame.
No,
You're
I know,
still
I'm
on the
just-
4 hour.
I'm just looking for more perspective on the chart.
Okay, I always just, this is
I know
me,
it's
I
just the
always
4 hour.
stick to the same. Like, I always look on the 4 hour because every different time frame is going to paint a different picture.
Right.
Tell a different story.
Right.
And you'll get contrasting, like, biases when
Mm-hmm.
you look at each.
Okay.
I get what you mean. I get your logic
Yeah,
by looking
yeah.
at the each day candle, like the
Okay.
wicks. I mean, that's one of the really hard things to do when it comes to like
Yeah.
setting up your trade plan, your stop loss, take profit, like setting those actual realistic targets. Normally it's easier. I mean, it depends on the setup. If you're playing within the restraints of an all-time low and you're long, the all-time low is support.
Right.
I'm getting Robinhood pulled up.
Getting Robinhood,
We are ready to
okay.
make a trade plan and enter this.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you're playing within the restraints of an all-time high and you're going short, then the all-time high is your stop. But like finding that take profit becomes like more difficult, or I think it's more difficult than finding that stop loss.
Okay.
But if you think that's you know your realistic target for taking profit, then we can go ahead and we can run through some contracts and simulate out essentially this position and what the outcome would be. Is that the one you're going with?
I think so.
All right. All right, so we just talked about this and we just think it's unrealistic to set like this 165.15 area as your take profit and your stop loss at 147.18. It would take at least a week, I'd say at least 3 days to either make its way up to that take profit or down to that stop loss. So you just went and set a new stop loss.
Yeah.
Okay, at a support level, okay, at 150.14, you're just kind of closing in those margins. So the contracts will have less like movement to run. You're not gonna make as much or lose as much on that position.
Right.
And then your take profit is going to be at the 50-day SMA. And you said that's because we can see over the last couple weeks, you know, we've ended up pulling back off of the 50-day, pushed, hit the 50-day, pulled back, pushed, hit the 50-day, pulled back. Now we just broke above the 50-day,
Right.
retraced, and now we're pushing back up to hit the 50-day again. Like this pattern we've
Yes.
seen,
Yep.
how the price movement has worked around this 50-day and has continued like either testing it, hitting it, or breaking it and retracing. You know, definitely there's, I think, a lot more we could do. Again, there's kind of a 30,000 foot view of generally how I trade.
Yeah,
and
right.
you knowing very little, but like more than most people. We're not going to go about simulating this position to figure out exactly like how much you're going to lose, how much you're going to make. I can
Right.
tell you right now, I don't think the risk reward would be great behind this trade.
No.
That is what we can get into in another video.
Right.
But this is where most people are once they get through the technical side of things, once they can actually identify a trade,
Okay.
set their stop loss, set their take profit. And then most people really lack in the next step, which is going to be actually running through, simulating at that position, finding contracts that present that optimal risk to reward, because
Right.
we don't just have to buy the first set of contracts that we look at. Again, because we're trading options, we're going to be going along. You know, we could run through 7-8 different sets of contracts to find that optimal risk to reward. So you're going to be placing this trade on your Robinhood account, correct?
Yeah, I didn't have time to make a TOS. I think I made one a few years ago, but I never put money in it. So
Okay.
unfortunately, we have to use Robinhood. Very,
Okay.
very sad. But that's all right.
Fine for the example of this video. And like we said, we didn't want this video to run over the course of a week. We just want to check in tomorrow, and then hopefully by the end of tomorrow, you either get stopped out or you end up taking profit. So that's why we ended up closing in these ranges for your stop loss and take profit. All right, so it is time to buy what you believe are going to be the best contracts to capitalize on this move, on this trade. that you just found.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Can you screen record? All right, awesome. Let's see. So I'm not gonna give you any input. I just want you to choose the best, in your opinion, contracts.
So shouldn't I buy the 160 or 155? Because this is out of the money. This is in the money. I know that. That's very easy. You're not gonna, you're like, he's helped me this
not
far.
giving you
He's
any-
helped me this far, but now buying contracts, he doesn't help me. Yeah, okay, great.
Well, so let me say, I don't just buy contracts because they're in the money, out of the money. It all comes down to like the contracts and how they move based
Right.
off of like
Right.
the Greeks. So that's why it's important to simulate a
okay.
contract, because one contract could present, you know, 1 to 3 risk to reward with a 5 to 15. You know, the next one could present a 2 to 2 with a 10 to 20. And the idea is that you can really maximize the profit on a position while minimizing the loss. The idea with, I guess, manipulating contracts is that you can go about maximizing your profit and minimizing your loss. So you could go from taking, you know, potentially an 80% loss to now a 20% loss,
Right.
just because you went 2 months further out as far as expiration and a little deeper into the money. That's a lot to get into. Like I said, next video we could.
I have chosen my contracts.
You've chosen it. Let's go ahead. You're gonna buy how many? You've got $500. These are too expensive for your account. You can't even buy one.
What about these then? Like October, I want to play this pretty safe. Like I don't want to 0 GTE because we could very well do that. We're gonna go ahead and do this.
And like again, you know that like inherently, the further out the expiration, the further into the money the contract, the safer they are.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
We just know that without having to run through any simulations, find the risk to reward, any of that. We just know in general.
So I'm gonna go ahead and place them. We have $500, $460 on the line.
All right, $500. How much are the contracts? $460.
Here we go.
Let's go. Place the order.
You're hitting review. Swipe up to submit.
Send it through. Send it through.
All right. We're
All
in.
right, you're filled.
First trade in like 2-3 years, 4 years.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
we'll check back in tomorrow morning to see what happens.
I'm already down $10.
We'll check back in tomorrow morning to see what happens. Stay till the end.
The next morning.
Good morning, everybody. This is a very
Oh, there goes the bell.
market's open. Let me get my Robinhood open.
All right.
So what do we got pulled up here? Oh, we got my EL pulled up.
Oh, you were long. You hit your target. Oh,
Let's go!
The market just opened, dude.
Bam!
EL gapped up 2%. Go ahead and lock this thing in.
Dude, hell yeah.
profit.
We are like on the target. That's insane.
See if you can go to trade, sell.
Sell.
You're on your target. It's starting to pull back.
I say I do one.
Yep. Send it through before this thing pulls back. Enter limit price. Send it through. Send it through. Let's
go,
lock it
let's
in.
go.
Let's see if you can get filled. And you're
We,
filled.
we got filled.
Let's go. Let's
get it.
You perfectly hit your target. Look at that. It
That's
gapped
crazy.
up 2% pre-market and you hit your target, even though the market is down today. Look at across the board.
Overall.
SPY's down,
Wow.
QQQ is down, and IWM is down. Look at SPY's down 0.36, QQQ is down 0.32, IWM is down 0.50.
Dude.
Your EL,
We just followed that trade plan to a T.
We did.
you perfectly hit your target.
Dude, that's crazy.
That low bounce setup just made you money. All right, how much did you make?
Let's see. It was up a good amount. 115 bucks.
You made how much? What's your percentage? Wait, let's see. You made 14% on that?
That's solid.
Are you excited or what?
Also, granted too, like we kind of should have mentioned this, but we didn't properly risk manage my portfolio.
True.
With the $500, I kind of just sent it. 500 was like we kind of simulated a beginner trader in a sense that people would be starting with $500 to start options trading in a sense when they're just getting started. Obviously, start paper trading if you really want to figure out how these strategies work and everything.
But what you're saying is you
figuring out
didn't size
this.
5%. You essentially put your
Yeah.
whole account on this position.
Right, yeah, in a sense. So
But yeah, look at TOS.
That's so funny, dude.
It hit your take profit. Literally pre-market. You can see right here. That's pre-market.
Oh, okay.
So this is where it closed, and then this is the gap up, and then you can see right here. Congratulations.
Nah, we shouldn't celebrate though. That's against it's against the rules.
No, but this is great.
That is cool.
I'm just kind of like blown away, dude. I've never done a trade plan or anything. I've just like done stupid Reddit stuff. Like,
Well, look what happens when you apply what you learn in the mentorship.
yeah, it's crazy. It's actually like a really strange feeling of like,
it?
oh, You know what I mean? Like it's super interesting. So overall 11%.
So you made
on the
11% on that position, and out of your account it was like 14, 15%.
Which is $70 or
11% overnight.
Yeah.
On $500. That's not bad.
I mean, granted, we put in like an hour of work to find the trade and like
takes time.
properly, yeah. But like still overall, like $70, like I'm like really happy with
In
that.
1 minute.
Yeah.
You made $80 in a minute off the open.
Like I'm gonna buy like a nice Uber Eats order when I get home off that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
well.
mean, obviously it wouldn't have been possible without you and being like, and kind of like fixing my thinking in a lot of ways. But I feel like for a lot of people, the classes, the videos would kind of, in the same way, of course they can ask questions in the chat, you know, when they're confused about
Versus
things,
being in
but-
person with me and taking like the mentorship
Yeah.
group, being in the mentorship group, taking the master class.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I would be able, I mean, from what I've seen in the videos, I think I would be able to keep trading based off the videos. But granted, I would take a lot more time. I'd probably like start looking for trades like another hour or two earlier just to actually look through even more charts, even more, and comparing again, having all the, I love how it looks inside the platform we use for the videos, because I'd just be able to pick through and instantly see, oh, this is that, oh, this is that. It's not that, it's not this. Oh, maybe it's this low bounce. You know what I mean? And that would really help, I think, in my trading at the beginning.
I still
Because
can't
it's all in one place. You know what I mean? Compared to like YouTube, where I learned so much trading yesterday, but I feel like learning all that stuff on YouTube would have been impossible. Because there's just so much to like talk about and learn.
Yeah.
Even using this software alone, using TOS is like a nightmare. You know what I mean? Like I would have had no idea how to buy those contracts on here. This is a nightmare in here, dude. I don't know what any
But
of
you'll
this
learn
is.
all this.
Yeah,
I teach
I know.
everyone how to use this as well.
I want to take a quick second to mention that if you guys are interested in joining the mentorship group, you're not only going to have access to see and copy my exact trades, you'll also get access to the masterclass in which you'll learn the strategies, the setups, and everything essentially that you use to make money on that trade. It is application only. So you want to click the first link in the description below, click the apply now button, and if you are accepted, you will actually have access to see the exact trades that I'm taking in the stock market and learn the exact system that I have in place to find that consistent profitability. So all the setups that I teach, the setup that you traded, which you were able to make money on in this video, you'll get to learn everything and then copy and essentially follow my trades if you so desire. So again, link in the description below. And if you are accepted, I look forward to working with you.